Hi vinyl community, it's Mike Vinyl Spiral here, and today's video is a response to a thread that was started by Kostis, and he's over in Greece and his channel's called Legopady. Now Kostis shows absolutely loads of really cool music. Most of it I've never heard of before. I check it out and find it's brilliant. So if you like something new, something brilliant, then go to Kostis's channel, and that's what you get. So what he did is he showed a whole load of cover versions, not the ones that everyone has heard of, but some really quite obscure cover versions by some quite obscure bands, but brilliant all the same. So I'm going to have my go, and to start off with, this is a single from 2018, and it's by a Swedish trio called Echo Ladies, and they hail from Malmo, and they're very sort of shoegazy type of band, and this is their cover of David Bowie's Rebel Rebel, and they give it the shoegaze treatment, and very good it is too. So that's the first one. Next up, a duo called Stereo Total. Now, one of them was French and the other one German, and they were based in Berlin. And they did quite a few cover versions. They're very synth pop, bit new wave, bit electronica. And this is a greatest hits album called Yeah Yeah Existential. And on it, there's quite a few covers. There's another Bowie track on this, as Heroes is on this from Bowie. And what else is there? Oh yeah, Heaven's in the Backseat of My Cadillac, which was a hit for the band Hot Chocolate back in the early 70s. But the track I'm going to highlight here is from a Japanese new wave band. They were quite short-lived. And as far as I know, they only had one hit, and it was called I Love You, Oh No. And Stereo Total have done their version of it, and it's called I Love You, Oh No, as in Yoko Ono. And it's quite different from the original, and it's pretty cool. So there you go, Stereo Total and I Love You, Oh No. Third one. It's another David Bowie cover, I'm afraid. This time from the Au Pairs, and this is their album Playing with a Different Sex. And the cover on here is from David Bowie's album Lodger, which I believe is the third of the Berlin trilogy. And it's called Repetition. It's a pretty dark tune with as it's all about domestic violence. But I found that the David Bowie version doesn't really come across very well, but these guys do it, and that they really give the whole thing its full due. It's much better in my opinion than Bowie's version. So that's Repetition by the Au Pairs. A bit more punk, and these guys, you recognise this. This is the Raincoats, and this is their debut LP, and they did a cover of Lola, and they played it pretty straight. It's a really nice track, and there you go, Lola by the Kinks, done by the Raincoats. And yet more punk. John Otway and Wild Willie Barrett. Now, these guys had one hit back in 1977 in the UK with a song called Really Free. And this is their first album. It may have been their only album. John Otway has recorded loads and loads of stuff since, but I think John Otway and Wild Willie Barrett only produced this one album. And the track on this is a cover of a song called Cheryl's Going Home, and it's by the folk rock pioneer from the United States, Bob Lind, and John Otway, Wild Willie Barrett give that song the full punk treatment, and it's brilliant. In fact, the whole album is brilliant. So that's John Otway, Wild Willie Barrett, Show Us Going Home. Right, next one. Here we go, back to Sweden. And this is the Vigra Boys and their album, Welfare Jazz. They're a post-punk band. And the final track on this album is a cover of the country song by the legend who is John Prine, and it's called In Spite of Ourselves, and it features Amy Taylor from Amyl and Sniffers. So they go Welfare Jazz by the Viagra Boys and their version of In Spite of Ourselves. Next up, there's a CD here, and this is Jane Birkin, and this is her album from 2004, I believe, yes, 2004. It's called Rendezvous, and it has a Roxy Music cover on it. It's In Every Dream Home, a Heartache, and that's from the 1973 album For Your Pleasure. And actually, it's a duet with Brian Ferry, but it's quite different from the version that's on the Roxy Music album. So that's Jane Birkin, In Every Dream Home, a Heartache. Now, this one, right, Manfred Mann. Now, Manfred Mann did quite a few covers, particularly Bob Dylan stuff. They did The Mighty Quinn, Just Like a Woman, Tonight Name But Two. But the track I'm going to mention here is one that I didn't realise until fairly recently was actually a cover. It's My Name Is Jack. And this was written by a guy called John Simon. And his original version of this appeared in a film that was filmed, I think, in 1967, which was called You Are What You Eat. And it was about the San Francisco hippie counterculture. Now, the Greta Garbo home that's mentioned in the lyric here was a squat in Haight-Ashbury, and this is it. It was released by Manfred Mann in 1968, but the original version by John Simon didn't actually get a single release until 1969. So the cover version actually came out before the original version. So it's Manfred Mann, and My Name Is Jack. So that's all apart from these guys. I'm going to have to show these guys. Nouvelle Vague, French band, and they specialise in cover versions. And just about everything they do is absolutely brilliant. Normally in the bossa nova style. And just about all the great post-punk tracks that you can think of, they've covered them. So on this album, we've got Love Will Tear Us Apart. What else have they got? Guns of Brixton. This Is Not a Love Song. Teenage Kicks as well, they've covered. All in the bossa nova style. And we got this album. And we've got Road to Nowhere, God Save the Queen, Say Hello, Wave Goodbye, Our Lips Are Sealed, amongst others. And then probably the best album as far as I'm concerned, Band Apart. And that's got Echo and the Bunnyman, the Killing Moon, Buzzcocks, Ever Fallen in Love, Blondie, Heart of Glass, Blue Monday is on here, Bela Lugosi is Dead, and Fade to Grey as well, amongst many others. But that's not the one I want to talk about. there's another great cover that they did, and this is of the Stranglers Golden Brown, and it doesn't appear, as far as I know, on any of their recorded output. It's not on CD, not available on vinyl, and it's absolutely lovely. It's not bossa nova, surprisingly, but it's acoustic guitar, violin, and lovely singing. And you can find it on YouTube. There's a lovely video on YouTube, and if I remember, I'll put a link in the description so you can all enjoy it. So that's it. That's my response to Kostis's absolutely brilliant thread. I'm not sure he even intended it to be a thread in the first place, but that's what it turned out to be because everyone thought, yeah, this is brilliant, worth getting onto. So if you don't know Kostis, his channel, Legopady, go over there, have a look, because he's absolutely brilliant. So until next time, see ya.